is not an independent art space, it's an experimental art project itself. I'm LAI. I've been at the School of Creative Media for over 20 years, and it has been a very interesting journey because it is this journey that took me back to the place to where I become an artist once again. Floating Projects is a group I founded in 2015. It is not a white cube, it's not an independent art space, but it is a collective of people from very different kinds of artistic practices to get together. So for me, it's an experimental art project itself, except that this art project is not to create artifacts, but it is an ongoing project. For now, it's a 5-year-old artwork. And this artwork is to ask questions about art rather than to give products that can be enjoyed with pleasure. First of all, I call a very important principle of floating projects agential realism, the realism of agencies. Our life world is about interaction through technology, through tools, through the things that we use in our everyday life. The key word here is not just interaction, but interaction, because the world that appears in front of us is the result of endless interaction among us. This kind of agential realism also very much highlight a principle of precarity, meaning we allow things being unstable, not being very perfectly organized to be part of the game. So it is indeed possible that at one point we collapse. But if we start to strategically think of precarity as the normal, that is the default reality, then we will turn negative dimensions or insufficiency into a kind of productive energy. Our third principle, I would say, deproletarianization. Proletarianization is a term that comes from Karl Marx, turning people into proletariats, into workers, giving people employment. This is too positive. The downside is when we turn ourselves into workers, we are very alienated from the products that we make. We become someone who is losing the knowledge. One of the key principles of floating projects is to deproletarianize. In the context of big data society today, new media, what that means is we must turn away from the status of being just the good consumer, not knowing how things work at the back, how technology impact our everyday life far more than we know. So this idea of deproletarianization as practiced in floating projects is for everyone to be very transparent to oneself and to other members, how our artworks are being done, how a technology is being deployed. Every time we make a work, we are not only making a work that will win a place in a certain festival, but we are also winning our own knowledge. All these three principles of floating projects brought us into a spot of asking more questions about what art can do in contemporary society.